that pairs of all creatures with the breath of life in them came to Noah and entered the ark. That would actually include dinosaurs. And some say, wait a minute, dinosaurs on the ark? How could Noah fit them on the ark? Matter of fact, how could Noah fit all of those animals on the ark? So let me answer the bigger question. We'll talk about dinosaurs in the midst of that answer. When someone asks you that question, there are two main questions we should push back with. The first question should be this. When someone asks you how to Noah get the animals onto the ark, we should say, first, well, how big was the ark? Second question, how many animals did Noah actually take on the ark? Answer those two questions, and this answer really isn't that hard. So first, how big was the ark? Do you think it looked more like A or B? Thank you for saying B, all right? Why do so many arks look like this in our children's books, Sunday school curriculums, Bible studies, and so forth? They present Noah's ark as an overloaded bathtub. Giraffes always sticking out the top, right? And I know these pictures are meant to be cute for kids, but kids are so impressionable. You show a kid this picture, does that tell that kid Noah's Ark and flood, real event or fairy tale? Fairy tale. And we're actually reinforcing a secular idea when we do this, whether we mean to or not. No, show them the real ark. It was over 500 feet long and 85 feet wide and 50 feet tall with 3 levels. It's a huge ship, a huge vessel. The dimensions give you the proportions equal to mostly a modern-day cargo ship with the right balance of strength and comfort and stability you would need during a global flood. Capacity equal to roughly 500 railroad stock cars, like an 8-mile-long train. Huge, huge ship. But was it big enough? How many animals did he take? Well, the Bible's clear. He took only land-dwelling, air-breathing animals onto the ark. No fish on the ark. Plenty of water outside the boat. All right? No whales, no dolphins, no jellyfish on the ark. Also, it makes good sense that he would bring young adults, or God would bring to Noah young adults. We'll get to that here in a minute. And then maybe the most important issue of all, where so many people miss this, is the Bible's clear. Noah took 2 of each kind onto the ark. Not 2 of each species, 2 of each kind. And the word kind, for the most part, in the Bible, is equal to about the family level of modern-day classification. So what that simply means is this. Noah did not take 400 pairs of dogs with him on the ark. He most likely never saw a chihuahua or a poodle in his life. He was a blessed man. No. He took 2 of the dog kind, 2 of the elephant kind, 2 too many of the cat kind, but 2 of the basic kinds of animals on the ark. Snuck that in there, all right? And some will say, but hey, aren't there just too many variations of dinosaurs? Aren't there hundreds, even thousands of variations of dinosaurs? Well, just like there are many variations of the dog kind, but just the basic kind. The same thing with cats and horses and so forth. You have a similar thing with dinosaurs. There are many variations of the ceratopsia kind, but just the basic kind. There are many variations of the sauropod kind, but just the basic kind. There are around 60 to at most 80 dinosaur kinds. Not that many. And some would say, okay, not that many, but I mean, come on. Really? That leaves a very common misconception. Do you realize that the average size of a dinosaur is equal to that of a bison, like a really big cow? And actually, some were as small as chickens. It's true. If those were still around today, we could have some good old KFD. And of course, it will taste like what? Chicken. It'd have to. Exactly. You guys know. All right. Very good. But as it turns out, we know that all dinosaurs started off small. You say, how do you know all? Well, because they hatched from eggs. And the biggest an egg can get is about the size of a football. Because the bigger the egg gets, the thicker the shell's got to be to support its own weight. But the shell can't get too thick because then oxygen can't get through to keep the creature alive. So max size for an egg is about that big. That means all of your dinosaurs, whether it's the Stegosaurus, the T-Rex, the Brachiosaurus, Titanosaurus, Seismosaurus, whatever, all started off about the size of a football. Now, that's really not that weird. We still see this same sort of thing today. Today, when crocodiles and alligators hatch from eggs, you can hold them in your hand. Give them a few years. If you're not careful, they'll hold you in their belly. Right? And plus, remember, God's bringing the animals to Noah. So I'm pretty sure God has it figured out. You don't have to bring the biggest ones. And it's reasonable to bet that God brought young adults to Noah for many good practical reasons. You bring young adults because they're smaller, especially the bigger animals, things like elephants, giraffes, bison, dinosaur. Bring the young adults, they're smaller. And just be sure there's a pink one and a blue one, that's important later. And I bet God's got that figured out too, right? You bring youngins because they tend to weigh less, eat less, or sleep more. They can be tougher in particular ways. My son Ian is 4 years old. We love to tackle and run around and play and stuff. And sometimes when he's running around, Ian falls down and hits the ground kind of hard. But then he does something amazing to me, and that is he bounces. Right? He just gets right back up and keeps on running. When I fall down anymore, I feel like I break or I lay there for a while. All right? So youngins are tougher in particular ways. And youngins, they will live longer after the flood to produce more offspring to refill the earth. And that's the whole reason you're taking them to begin with. So a lot of good reasons to take the younger adults. And then how many were there in total? We did a ton of research on this, and we have all this, of course, at the Ark Encounter here at the museum as well. But a max number of kinds that Noah would need to account for all the variation we see today and in the fossil record, will be roughly around 1,400 total kinds. Multiplied by 2, 7 or 14 is some. And in a max worst case scenario, you will need roughly 6,700 total individual animals on the ark. And that number fits very comfortably in that large ship. No problem at all. And that would include the dinosaurs. No problem at all.